Hey, Pastor Andrew here. Thank you so much for continuing to join us on this series of the Jesus the King as we're walking through the Gospel of Mark. We're ending chapter 5 today. And this is a great passage to consider because I think there's so much here. Again, layer upon layer, we could spend so much time, but I want these to be brief devotional videos that offer encouragement. In Mark chapter 5, I think we start somewhere around verse 21 to the end of the chapter. We read this really cool story, which has gotten a lot of work this week, which is awesome. Jairus, his daughter, is raised from the dead. What a powerful and amazing story for us to focus on. And then in the midst of that story, Jesus has come back from the Decapolis. He's just healed this man from a possession of a legion of demons, a host of demons, lots and lots of demons. He comes back across the Sea of Galilee into Capernaum, and there's this crowd of people. And Jairus comes to get him. Hey, come heal my daughter. And then as they're going, we see that there was a woman. We get this little sort of inserted note that there was a woman who had a hemorrhage or an issue of blood for 12 years. Now, in context with the way that that's written, it's probably pretty safe to say it was a flow of blood, like a lady's issue, a female issue, a feminine issue. And what that would mean then is that this poor lady not only has had an affliction that she's had, but also that she would have been ceremonially and ritually unclean in her culture. Now, hopefully, just let that sink in for a second, because it's enough to have an issue of physical ailment, right? It's enough to have a sickness that you're fighting or a disease. And we've learned from the text that doctors can do nothing about it. So it's enough that you have to fight that, right? It's enough that you have this issue that you kind of feel alone because can anybody else identify with the pain that you're feeling with and the issues that you're having in your home with this bodily condition? But on top of that, now you add a social and a cultural issue or layer as well. Can you put yourself in this lady's shoes as much as possible? So not only is she in pain probably, and she has these issues and the inconvenience of what she's dealing with, but she has to wear garments that indicate that she's unclean ritually and ceremonially. And it's very possible, perhaps just like the lepers or those with skin conditions would have had to have said is unclean, unclean, when people come by. So there's a social and cultural stigma as well, where people did not like to associate with people who were unclean, because if you did, then you would become unclean. And it was a whole list of things you had to do to become ceremonially or ritually clean again. So it's layer upon layer. Are you getting that? And so this woman is, for 12 years, she's dealt with the emotional pain of this and, of course, the physical pain of the ailment that she's suffering. And so she's resolved within herself that if she can just touch Jesus's clothes, if she could just touch the hem or the edge of his garment, then that would be enough. And Jesus takes the time. So he's on his way to raise this girl from the dead. At this point, they say she's still sick, but I have no doubt that Jesus knows exactly what is happening and what will happen. But this lady touches him, and he takes the time to focus on her and to let her in, which is a good reminder for us that you never give up, right? Don't give up. I don't know what your situation is, how long you've been fighting something, how long you've been wrestling with something, contending with God in prayer, or maybe you have had an emotional issue that you've been dealing with, a mental issue you've been dealing with for a long time, or physical ailment. Don't give up. Keep praying, keep fighting, keep pushing, because Jesus takes the time to meet with you. It may not always look like how we want it to look, but Jesus takes the time. That's why these stories, these true historical accounts, are so wonderful to consider, that Jesus is on a mission. He's going from point A to point B. He's going to Jairus' house, but he takes the time for this woman, and he talks with her, he speaks with her, he takes time with her. He's basically saying, I see you, and your faith has made you well. Go and enjoy your life and live in your healing. And that's what Jesus says to us as well. You've been forgiven. Go enjoy your forgiveness. Go enjoy the life that you've given. And if you're continuing to pray for that miracle, continue to pray. And we believe with you that the God of miracles can do something amazing and great for you. But trust that his will for you is the best. So I hope this word encourages you. God bless you. Think about that. We'll see you next time.